Hello, welcome. It is at last the Thanksgiving edition of the 20-Minute Cooking School, and I'm just here cuddling my turkey, my beautiful turkey that came from Cambrai this morning. Today we're talking about how, why, where, which, when, and whether to dry brine a turkey. Come on in, it's the 20-Minute Cooking School. All right, so the question of where should we start? Let's start with when you should dry brine a turkey. No, you know what? Let's just talk about what is dry brining a turkey. So dry brining a turkey is essentially giving the turkey a little salt massage and then just letting it rest for about 24 hours, up from 24 hours all the way up to like 72 hours, which is what I'm going to do this time. And what this salt does, it's quite magical. Salt magically both infuses moisture into the bird, and wait a second here, I got a low power mode. Uh-oh, we're in trouble here. If we run out of power, it's not because I don't love you. So the brining is actually going to infuse moisture into the bird, and at the same time it's going to dry out the skin so that it gets all golden and crispy and like absolutely stunningly beautiful. So don't ask me how salt works because I'm not a chemist, but salt is awesome. And so that is the kind of how dry brining works, although it wasn't very detailed, was it? It's so nice. You know, you buy something at Cambray's and they put a sticker right on the bag about how to roast it. You pay a little more, but you get the sticker. Okay, so that is the question of how brining works. Then the more important question is why? Why dry brine? And I will tell you that, first of all, brining of any kind, it just absolutely adds so much flavor and just so much kind of turkeyness to the turkey. It lets it be its own beautiful self. And when you brine a turkey, you don't have to do truffle butter, you don't have to do herbs under the skin, you don't have to do like a woven bacon lattice top on top. It doesn't matter. None of those things matter. Brine really lets the turkey be its most perfect, beautiful self. So I've been dry brining for 15 years. I think I learned how to do it in 1997. That's not 15 years ago. I told you I failed first year chemistry. Maybe I also failed first year math. 20 years I have been dry brining my turkeys, and I'll never go back. I will never do anything but. Difference between dry brining and wet brining is wet brining, who can guess? Who can guess what the difference is between wet brining and dry brining? Wet brining, you make a salt solution, then the turkey sits in like a salty water bath for 24 hours. My problem, I ain't got nowhere to put this guy soaking in water for 24 hours and keeping him cold. It's hot outside. I can't put it outside. My cold room is not operational. It has to be in the fridge, and there's just no way that I can put this and a salt water solution in the fridge. So the dry brine is easier, it's less messy, it takes up less room, it can go longer, like you can go longer with it. And then with the dry brine, also, according to my boyfriend Kenji Lopez-Alt over at Serious Eats, doesn't know he's my boyfriend. According to him, actually dry brining is scientifically better than wet brining. Kenji, the man. Okay, so basically that's what have we covered? We've covered how, we covered why. The question now is when. When do you dry brine? So you want to dry brine at least 12 hours before you're going to roast, and as much as 72 hours. So I'm going to have this beauty with my whole family on Sunday. It is now Thursday. That is fully 3 days. So this baby is going to dry brine for three days. And that's actually how I originally learned how to dry brine. I was working in a restaurant, and it's a way to prolong the life of fresh meat. So if we had, say, I don't know, a case of ducks, and the duck wasn't selling off the menu, it'd be like, okay, brine them, cover them in this like salty dry brine mixture. Not only will it improve the flavor, but it'll also give us a lot more time with the duck, and it won't go bad. Guys, brining is the way of the future. It's the brining revolution, and I'm telling you, once you've dry brined, you'll never go back. So that's when. Did anybody see me wash this sage? I don't think I did. And since this comes from my cat pee garden, I will be washing it right now. There we go. All right, so nice to see so many of you here. Is anybody hosting Thanksgiving for the first time or for the like 1,000,000th time? Are you excited? Are you worried? Are you bored? Are you sleepy? Are you gassy? Are you Dumbo? Which one of the 7 dwarfs are you when it comes to Thanksgiving? Let me know what your Thanksgiving questions are. And I know Gina, he seems to have a lot of girlfriends, our friend Kenji, doesn't he? I think he might be Zoe Maslow's boyfriend as well. Anyway, it is the Thanksgiving edition of the Facebook Live 20-minute cooking show here in Claire Tansey's kitchen. Facebook 20-minute, what am I doing? 20-minute cooking school is all about the easy tips and tricks that make your cooking and your dishes that much more fun, easy, and delicious. Okay, so I'm going to fancy up my dry brine this year with a little bit of this sage. And this is fresh sage. It not only does it come back every year, it's perennial, it's in my garden, but it also seems to spread, and it also seems to thrive when I neither water it, nor weed it, nor take care of it, nor pay it any attention. It's like the 3rd or 4th child in the family. You know, it gets no attention, no love, and then goes on to be president of the Glee Club, or something like that. So that is a little bit of sage, all minced up, and then I'm going to get a very technical term here, a bowl. I'm going to get a bowl. Man, why can I never find a bowl when I want one? So I'll just get a cereal bowl here. Is everybody following along? So far I've got chopped sage, and a bowl, and my turkey. So here is my chopped sage. This could be rosemary, this could be thyme, this could be no herbs at all. It could be really almost anything that you like with turkey. So that is in there. And then, okay, here, this is it. This is the only critical thing. You've got to have kosher salt. If you use table salt, you will ruin the turkey. If you use pickling salt, no, not pickling salt, not rock salt, not Himalayan pink salt, not Malden salt, not table salt. Kosher salt, preferably diamond crystal, which is heaven on earth. And I didn't have any for the longest time, and Michael and I were both sort of starting to feel the stress of it. And so he went and bought 2 kilo boxes of it. Bless. Kilos? Kilo box? 1.36 kilos. I now have 2.72 kilograms of kosher salt, and that is just about enough for me. So listen, if you don't have kosher salt, do not brine your turkey. I don't mean to get upset, but come on. No, do not brine your turkey if you don't have kosher salt, because then you'll wreck it. And then you'll call me, and I don't answer the phone. So that'll just not be fun. Okay, here is the kosher salt. Anybody who doesn't know what kosher salt is, I'm going to talk probably more about this in a later episode, but it doesn't have anything to do with the actual quality of the salt, although it's very clean, doesn't have anything in it. It refers more to the shape and size of it. So kosher salt is more about the shape of each grain of salt than it is about the type of salt it is. Does that make sense? So that's why you can't use pickling salt, you can't use rock salt, you can't use table salt. You need the specific grain size, granular shape of the kosher salt. Listen, we only have 20 minutes. It's already 4:09. We got to get cracking here. So I want a 1/2 cup of kosher salt, roughly. So just pour that in here. That's roughly half a cup, and then I'll just, I don't know if that's actually 1/2 cup. Let's do a little more. Always better to have more than less. Then I'm just going to mix my sage in with the salt, so it'll kind of infuse, herbalize, titillate, perfume the salt. And again, not necessary. The only thing that's necessary is the salt. Now, yeah, I nearly had to carry this home in my backpack today because Michael dropped me off. But then anyway, then I found a car to go and I was able to drive home. 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 13 and a half pounds. The perfect size for a turkey, between 12 and 15 pounds. Any bigger, and you're going to get into a weird ratio of like having to kind of overcook the breast in order to get the leg fully cooked. You know I don't stuff my turkeys. If you heard me on the CBC last week, I am quite vehement about not stuffing my turkey. I will have a shitload of stuffing, but it'll be done in a casserole dish on the side. And I always recommend trying to get a fresh bird if you can. First of all, it's easier. Second of all, fresh is usually better. And of course, I get mine from Cumbrae's, which is like the best butcher in Toronto. I buy 2 things a year at Cumbrae's: my Thanksgiving turkey and my Christmas roast beef. Incredible. Costs a little more, costs a lot more, totally worth it. We will use every scrap of this turkey. So fresh turkey, if you're using a frozen turkey, you can still dry brine a frozen turkey. You can even do it from frozen, although it's a little bit easier if it's at least partially thawed. And if you are using a frozen turkey, I hope that you are already thawing it, because it takes 4 days to thaw a 16-pound turkey. 4 days. 4 days. Don't call me on Sunday and tell me that your turkey's still frozen. I won't be able to help you. I can invite you over, but I can't help you. Well, look at that. Mike Summers is even watching today. Look at this beauty. Oh, he's a beauty. He's a beauty. Anyways, so if you can't get a fresh, get a frozen. That's absolutely fine. But when you're going to kosher the bird, you want it to be like when you're going to brine the bird, you want it to be an unadulterated turkey. So not like self-basting, not pre-stuffed, not any of those other things. So this is just like a plain turkey. And as I said, the brining, the dry brine, which is the whole point of this whole lesson today, dry brining is going to let this turkey just be its absolute best self. This turkey is going to go and watch every Oprah Winfrey show, and it is going to live its best life, although it's already dead. It's going to be the best version of itself that it ever could be. Okay, so now when you go to brine the turkey, you're going to need to put the whole affair in the fridge. So don't choose a pan that's too big. This is not, I don't know, well, Michael and I will probably have a long conversation about which pan we're going to roast the turkey in on Sunday. But for now, this guy will in fact fit in here, so that's good. Now I'm just going to take off all of his trappings. Look at him! Look at his beauty. Yes! So, I love brining. I didn't actually used to love turkey. And then I figured out that you could brine it. And then I realized how absolutely delicious turkey can be. And of course, you still need to make sure that you don't overcook it and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, the brining is going to just take it up to the next level. I feel like now I'm bigging it up. Now people are going to come and give me like, you told me my life was going to change after I had this turkey. Well, it kind of is. Ugh, you're never going to not brine your turkey again after you dry brine your turkey. Okay, so I always refer to turkeys in the male. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh gosh, we got poultry juice. It's everywhere. It's all right, we're fine. Nothing to see here, nothing to see here. So now, you see my turkey has got his legs tucked up into this little like skin scarf. Let me just undo that. I like my turkey to be free and wild. There he is. There he is. Now, of course, always you are going to want to check the inside to see what goodies have been left behind for you, such as the neck. Hello. Hello. Yes. I agree. That said, you'll often find the neck, but more and more rare to find the giblets inside. Yeah, good. Anyways, here, this neck. Somebody in my family is going to absolutely take this baby down. We're going to roast it, and it is going to get taken down. Now, oh, this is such a beautiful, absolutely beautiful beast. Look at you. Look at you. And a very high, like you can tell, this is a special bird. Okay, now, I am now going to perform. Now I will perform the dry brine. So here is the brine, the kosher salt mixed with fresh sage. And now I'm going to make it snow. This is the Thomas Keller way of salting anything from high up. Thomas Keller, my other boyfriend. I have quite a few boyfriends. So Thomas Keller, a famous chef of the French Laundry, Bouchon, Per Se, etc. I saw him speak in Toronto years and years ago, and it kind of changed the way I think about everything. I love him. But he said, you know, when you're salting, and for him, salt is one of the most important ingredients, as it is for me. I told you we were meant to be together. So he talked about holding your hand quite high above the thing that you're salting so that the disbursement is a little more even. So he said make it snow, and that's always what I think about. Now, that said, I want to make sure, using my hand, that I get some salt on absolutely every surface of this bird, particularly, this is the Mike Summers trick, in the armpits. Because these, oh my gosh, these wings are going to be so good. So excited. I can't believe we have like 5 dinners still until, 3 dinners until Thanksgiving dinner. So right there in the armpit, you want all these wings to get beautifully crispy. Here's the leg. Don't forget the outside of the leg. Can everybody see what I'm doing here? Oh, hey, Andrea Bucket. Yay! Thank you for sharing. Yeah, everybody share this, because if you say you're going to somebody's house and they're making the turkey and you're not in charge, just, you know, tag them, share them, just a thought. It might improve your turkey experience this year. Not that I can solve all problems, but I can usually solve turkey problems. Where were we? So, as you can see, I am putting a generous amount of salt on this bird. And here is the key. I am going to be rinsing this turkey before I roast it. Rinse before roasting. Because this is too much salt for seasoning. This is doing the brining. So the brine is not the final seasoning. It is just the brine. And so that's important. And of course, I'll put a recipe up for this on my site, clairetansey.com. And of course, there's a recipe for this in my book coming out next year, October 2nd, 2018, Uncomplicated. Anyways, what I'm going to do is you need to rinse it off before you roast it, but then you don't have to season the turkey again. So enough salt will be absorbed that you don't need to season it again, but there will be still too much salt on the turkey so that you'll want to definitely rinse it off. Now, that is it. That is a half a cup of kosher salt and a couple of sage leaves from my garden. Now I'm going to rinse my hands. Hit me with your questions. We are getting there. It is 4:18. We have 2 more minutes to talk about dry brining turkeys. And of course, you can always find me here. I'll be here all weekend. I'm home this weekend. I love being home for Thanksgiving. My mother-in-law's here from England. My mom and dad are coming tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. Hey, Carol. Hey, Sheila. Yay. Can't wait for the book. I know it's a year though, right? Like we got time. So here we go. I have dry brine my turkey. As a quick reminder, oh my goodness, I know I'm on low power mode. I know. As a quick reminder, dry brining, do it at least 12 hours in advance and up to 72 hours. What's the matter with me? 12 hours to 72 hours. You have to use kosher salt. I'm going to put this now in the fridge uncovered, and then actually, because I'm dry brining him for so long, I'm going to give him a loose cover. Very, very loose cover, but you really want it to dry out a little bit. So use the fridge to help you. This is going into my fridge for 3 days, so I'm just going to give it a little light blanket. Claire, doesn't the salt draw the moisture off? It does, Mona, but listen, it draws the moisture off out of the skin and makes it dry, and so it cooks up so golden and crispy. But it essentially mixes with its own juice. The salt draws out the moisture of the turkey, mixes with itself, and then goes back into the meat. Don't ask me for the science. I can't tell you why, but I can tell you I've been doing this for 20 years, and it is amazing. Amazing. Just make sure you use kosher salt. That is it for now. It is 4:19. We have dry brined the turkey. I am loosely covering him just like this, and I'm not going to do another thing. I am not going to turn him, twist him, rotate him, nothing. Next time that this turkey and I come into contact, I will be rinsing him and putting him into the oven for Thanksgiving dinner. that is the end of the 20-minute cooking school. In just 20 minutes, you can have so much fun in the kitchen. Shoot me your questions. I'll talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving on my page the next couple of days. We'll talk a little bit about mashed potatoes and probably stuffing and gravy. Anybody? Questions about gravy? What is your number one concern about Thanksgiving dinner? I can help you. Thanks again for tuning in to the 20-minute cooking school. Next week, we're going to be back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. and we're going to take the remains of this and make soup. We're going to make turkey soup. Carol, one last question. Do you do anything after rinsing? I'll probably brush it with a little bit of melted butter or maybe some canola oil or something. And so just a little bit of fat on the exterior. Maybe some pepper, although we kind of hold off on the pepper now because Thomas loves turkey and he does not love pepper. Sounds good, Naomi. Hi to you and Patrick and Abby and Evie. Love to everybody. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and we will see you in a week. Bye.